wandering through the bush, and it was quite thick, so just breaking my way through it. And then he was just like about 15 metres from me, just standing there. He was really angelic, just standing and looking, so, you know.
I decided to write this poem about you, William. Because the day they found you, my brain was in the shape of a fist. I was so angry. My words were all arrows which I used to shoot bluebirds down on the internet. But when your face bounced softly past, carried in blankets, everything came loose. My giant brain fist, as tight as dehydration, loosened. You and Ben tumbled out of our devices and into our hearts like a Rapunzel braid. He found you by singing soft songs about trains, his ghost dogs off leash, his ancestors underfoot. He gave you his socks and you let him touch your nose. He knew you were some kind of angel, glittering like a spirit in the forest. Standing there in bare feet, your hands open, your face like a carving, and everyone watching fell in love with you and with Dad, and definitely with Ben and with Mum and the ambulance lady, and we needed to fall in love that day because hope had tumbled down some well in a horror movie. Everything that has happened this year, all the things that had been caught in my throat suddenly came vomiting out.
27 hearts beat!
All the YouTube series about conspiracy theories, the incompetence of the Australian government's response, side-smiling hypocrisy, job shrieker throwing the final darts into the already struggling arts, Amy Cooper summoning the cops in Central Park as Christian Cooper's skin was dark, calling 911 with a phone that's a handgun, Rona mauling the US and Trump making such a murderous mess, Andrews being blamed for slippery security guards, which turned out to be fake news, BTW, but Dutton's department under no stress for docking the Ruby Princess. Victoria a slave to the inevitable second wave, abhorrent losses, rising cases with health officials losing face. Morrison trying to sell this economical con. People who believe the COVID-19 key is somehow linked to 5G, Kens and Karens waving guns, Mary Trump telling us what we already know and how his supporters will not see this as a blow. This pandemic filled with revolution and revelation and walking the streets in a living panic attack with black square Instagram reality slaps. The orange bag of hate tear-gassing the people and the press to wave around a Bible like a packet of Trump steaks. Violence and unity statues being ripped to create a beautiful void in the name of George Floyd. 437 Aboriginal deaths in custody, but instead of support for this Armageddon, our sook of a leader sent cops to guard a lump of Captain Cook. Murder hornets, floods, fires, a White House full to the brim with denialists and liars. People locked in housing towers with no notice, truly frightened, but not enough for that postcode jumping lady who has done all of Brighton.
I've done all of Brighton.
Pollution at an all-time low, but it's too much of an economical blow to actually turn this planet around. Even though we've figured out how to work from home without pants, we're not going to give our planet its second chance. And every time I try to calm my brain, a new fresh hell emerges which makes me feel like I'm going insane. All this chaotic mortification burning holes in my concentration and my unkind monkey mind saying, "Hey, poetry clown, why aren't you being more productive during lockdown?" If there's a metaphorical mountain for the year 2020, it would be Mount Disappointment. And William, you spent 2 nights alone in sub-zero conditions, with your little elbows out, curled in a tree with a beetle in your ear. And the storybook in me wants to imagine it left poems in there, sent love letters to remind you of the stars, to reassure you that the whole galaxy was looking for you. You made us want to drill into the earth, to wade through liquid sun with our bare hands, to pull the moon down and use it as a spotlight. Because the darkness in the sky was Ghostbusters bad. We didn't think we'd find you. And if we did, it would be a grim miracle. Another horrific 2020 sacrifice. And we'll never know how you did it, William, because you don't speak. You're as quiet as a bowl of rice. And even though I knew, and I still know, that it's time to pull the rusty nail of constant news out of my arm, I was paralyzed. Because I had a sort of spiritual toxic shock syndrome. And I think we all do. The whole world is on the same page. The existential dread baked right into our banana bread. But you were like some kind of fairy tale life hack, resetting our dumb world like a tiny wizard dancing backwards into the intergalactic matrix waterfall. And when they got you, the rescue party didn't yell. They didn't clap, they didn't hug you, they had to hold back, because loud sounds aren't your jam, Will. Even though our hearts were a million vuvuzelas, even though fleshy fireworks were exploding right out of our chests, the restraint was maybe the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. The respect for your beautiful little being. Will, who likes the quiet, who got lost with a beetle in his ear, and who saved us all that day, who gave us the will to be strong.